Alrighty, let's do a news of the day type thing. And once again, as I scour around the internet, collect up the stuff for you guys using Sportsnet, TSN, mostly, also Twitter. I get messages as well via Facebook and Instagram and slather it all together. And here it is, news of the day. So welcome. Connor McDavid says he's been skating for 2 months. And he plans to be at camp. His priority right now is that he wants to be at training camp. He wants to be 100%. So everything sounds like it's progressing properly. This is why when he got hurt at the end of last season, as ugly as it was, I wasn't particularly concerned. Connor McDavid is a freak athlete. He is one of those guys who comes along maybe once in a generation. I don't have any expectation other than somehow he's going to skate faster with a bad leg, and he's going to be stronger. That's my expectation. My expectation is that he's going to be working so hard to rehab from this that he'll be even faster when the season rolls around. And who knows, maybe he hits that 130 plus point mark. Kane's prospect has just come out that Stelio Matheos is dealing with testicular cancer, and this involves him having surgery to have one removed. So I will pause for a moment while guys go, wow. So Stelio just became like a guy that I'm really hoping will have a great career out of this. He's missing training camp due to this, and so my thoughts go out to him. Honestly, his resume looks pretty good. He's rated number 8 out of 10 in the future watch issue of the Hockey News from last spring. He was a third rounder in 2017. Scored pretty darn well in juniors this past season and the year before. And here's to hoping for a speedy recovery, 100% cancer-free. And he can come back and hopefully get into the Canes lineup as soon as possible. So there you go. Toronto, question I've got for you guys, and this is a question directly from me. Because we're seeing speculation again on TSN, Sportsnet, and elsewhere. Toronto, captain. It's like a Captain Morgan commercial. The difference is we're just all asking the question. Nobody's actually a captain. And the obvious choice would be Matthews, but there's a part of me that thinks, you know what? Give it to Tavares. Give Tavares the captaincy. Throw an A on Morgan Rielly. Throw an A on Austin Matthews. And then a couple years down the road, Matthews ends up being captain, something along those lines. I honestly would probably lean that way, but we'll see. And that's just me just talking off the cuff. Let me know what you guys think. Or does it matter? Does it matter in this day and age to really does a captain make that much of a difference? To which Penguins fans would say, yeah, Crosby makes a little bit of a difference for us as captain. Yeah, so that's kind of a fun little discussion to have. Here's another fun discussion. So Matt Zuccarello tweets out yesterday that he's rated 84. So his overall rating is 84 in NHL 20. And Mika Zibanejad's is 85, and he said, can you believe this? I've been carrying this guy for years, and they rate him higher than me. Some people took that seriously. I didn't. A player is not going to use an NHL 20 rating to throw a former teammate under the bus. I took it as just good-natured ribbing on his part. I don't think players in general care. We have this discussion every year about ratings. The first thing I do when I get the NHL games is change the player ratings. Because I look and I go, A, these guys are all too close together, meaning that your star players and your regular second, third liners, there's no real difference in the way they play. And so I change out the ratings, and I think there's a lot of people that do that. I think there's a lot of attention paid to it, probably because of the people who play online a lot. I don't do that, so for me it's just all right. I'll just go in and change the ratings. For the last couple of games I got, for instance, I thought the last couple of games the Sedins run, I should say, I thought they were rated too high, so I dropped their ratings down. And that's just as an example, but I think there's so much hype about the ratings. Like, for instance, Jack Hughes is an 82 and Capo Caco is an 81. There's some people who just don't accept that. And they don't accept the idea that a rookie can be rated an 82 and the veteran players who've been in the league for a long time, like as Matt Zuccarello, are an 84. But the problem is the way that EA Sports used to do it was the rookies were all like 70, 67, 71. And everybody was complaining, hey, these rookies are useless. Why don't you give them ratings where they should be? Now they're giving them ratings where, yeah, that's probably where they're going to be, and people are still giving them grief. That is one thing where I will absolutely give kudos to EA Sports that they try to get the ratings right as much as they can. There's other things too with NHL ratings. I've found sometimes that a guy might be rated higher, but as far as being a useful player in a game, might not be the case. So I might trade a higher rated guy for a lower rated guy, knowing they're going to slot into that position better. But anyways, if you've played a lot of NHL games, you guys know what I'm talking about. Pat Maroon posted on Twitter that, a very touching note for Blues fans. I think it really bothers him he's not going back to St. Louis. I mean, I'm sure he's excited to go to Tampa, but I think he ideally wanted to stay in St. Louis. I think that's part of the reason why it took this long, because he wanted to be with that team again and try to go for back-to-back. But going to Tampa, that's a pretty good move too. Odds are Tampa's going to be right up there. I'm not going to predict President's Trophy necessarily, but I think they're going to be close. And Maroon, I think, is a good depth guy for them. I also wanted to touch on the fact there's a lot of hype right now, regardless of where you look online, whether it's even the NHL site. NHLPA, for instance, had this rookie get-together kind of thing and a bunch of photo ops, basically. Is this going to be a really strong rookie class this year? Because like last year, I did a video on how I felt the 2018-2019 rookie class could have been one of the strongest ever. And then some of the guys who were picked to be like really, really good, like Tolvanen in Nashville, it didn't really work out. So I haven't done that video this year because I thought, you know what? No, I'm not doing that 2 years in a row. I'm not going to hype up the draft class or the rookie class, I should say, not draft class, rookie class, because we're not sure who's going to end up excelling and which ones are going to need time in the minors. But I do get the feeling, that this year's rookie class is going to be something special. I just don't want to do a whole video on it, considering that last year's was a good class, but not, spectacular by any stretch. But I do get the feeling this one's going to be better. Gabriel Bourque gets a 1-year deal at a league minimum with Winnipeg. A smart move by the Jets. They've lost a little bit of depth in the offseason. You've got to think Jack Roslovic is going to be playing more. Now, in the event that Laine and Connor end up holding out into the regular season, Roslovic is going to end up playing more of a key role than we had expected. So adding a guy like Gabriel Bourque that can play fourth line, he's not going to provide the offense, but he can be solid enough as a fourth line guy. Smart move. The Winnipeg Jets, and again, because it's league minimum, there's no risk to this. Worst case scenario, he doesn't make the team, gets cut, and gets sent down to the AHL. They don't end up having any kind of a penalty under the cap. They don't have to worry about any of his money staying at the NHL level. And another example of how close we're getting to training camp is Mikko Rantanen has been seen skating in Norway. Norwegian team tweets out a photo of Rantanen out there skating on the ice with them. Restricted free agents have to stay in shape. They have to be skating, and they, a lot of players skate throughout the summer. We don't have off seasons like we used to. There was a time not that long ago where players actually had an off season. They would actually take like a month and a half and not worry about it. Somewhere along the way, players have decided instead to stay in shape 12 months a year. You don't see guys coming in with the beer gut and the clearly having partied all summer kind of look to them. No, players take this a lot more seriously, and they take it a lot more seriously even during the off season. So while we can debate other things that may go on around hockey, I would say conditioning now is at the fore, and it is always there, because we've seen that if your conditioning isn't quite where it should be going into training camp, you are way behind. You are way behind everybody else. And a guy who comes into training camp looking to get into shape probably ends up getting cut. So, yeah, guys stay in shape longer. So if you're a Colorado fan, I don't think there's anything to worry about with Rantanen skating in Norway. Not yet. If he's not signed by, I'd say, around September 17th or 18th, we're going to start having some conversations about restricted free agents. And if he's one of them, that'll be a conversation to have. But Again, the media's just looking at it and going, oh, that could be juicy. We'll see what happens there. I don't know. Maybe it's fun going skating in Norway in August. Maybe that's just something he wanted to do. So, we'll see if it's much ado about nothing soon enough, but we've got a lot of restricted free agents that are still out there, and we're waiting on them getting signed. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happen upon this video. And there you go. As I said, usually I scrounge up around the internet during the day, during the morning, and we'll see if anything happens from now on. I want to see something on my phone telling me via either TSN, Sportsnet, or wherever, hey, these guys have signed, and we can start talking about signings rather than holdouts. But from now until then, I'll still be here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you again soon.